Welcome to the Candle Business Coach Podcast, a show about the craft of candle making and small business. I'm your host, Kirsty Allen, and I'm a candle maker, mum of three, and kindness advocator. Join me as I dive into all things candles and small business and deliver advice and tips to you in episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Are you on the list to get my daily motivation emails? Every day I'll send you a message that is designed to help keep you focused on taking action toward your goals. Sign up using the link in the show notes. This episode is brought to you by my free ebook, the Candle Business Marketing Kickstarter Kit. Inside this free ebook, you'll find your blocks of time and learn actionable tips so you can grow your business faster and earn more income to lead you to your goals. Check out the link in the show notes for your copy. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. On today's show, we have the beautiful Bec from Carnation Candles for our candle maker conversation. So Bec, do you want to introduce yourself and tell the listeners a little bit about you?
Hey everyone, my name is Bec and I am the owner and operator of Carnation Candles. I'm a mum of two, married, and I live in Rockhampton in Queensland.
Lovely. Now, how did you get started with candle making? How did your journey begin?
So pretty much like I was a qualified personal trainer. I had a personal training studio, and then when COVID came and hit, I kind of had to shut my business down. So I was like, how am I going to earn some money being at home? And I thought, what a good time to start. So that's when I kicked in and started learning candles.
What was the process like when you first started your business? Obviously, during COVID times, it was people had more time on their hands to dedicate to something like this. But what was the process like for you?
That's pretty much what happened with me. I had time on my hands. My daughters were off school, so I was trying to find a balance between homeschool and keeping myself sane. So I enjoyed making candles, and I thought, I'm just going to, I really loved it, and I actually loved it more than what I did the personal training. So I was like, why not? I'm just going to go for it.
I love that. And have you always loved candles, like ever since you were young, or is it a recent obsession?
No, it's just recent. I think as I got older, I enjoyed more luxury stuff. I've always been a tomboy, so I was never into candles. I was more into yard work and all that. And then as I got older, I was like, I do love this home decor and taking pride in my space, and just lighting a candle at the end it's great.
So tell us about Carnation Candles. How did you come up with the name and how did you start your business?
So it took me a bit to come up with the name because I really wanted something that meant something to me. And my grandma used to grow carnations at her house. So I kind of wanted to do a tribute to her. So that's how I came up with Carnation Candles.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So when you think about running your business, how do you manage completing all the relevant tasks needing to be done?
I'm pretty organized, really. I have a set thing for my day. So whatever I'm running low on, that's what I'll usually get started on, on the day. Yeah, and I usually am a list keeper. So as I write down what I need, I'll tick it off and complete it.
Yeah.
And I usually don't stop until it's done either. Like the other night, I just finished a market and I actually worked until about 8:30 p.m. So I start at 8:30 a.m. and I just worked through just to get it all done.
And I feel like when we love what we do, it doesn't feel like work. Well, working on our passion, it's just such a joy to do. It doesn't feel like a chore at all.
Yeah, that's right. And I love it. Because I have novelty candles as well. It's I get to see that finished product and it just makes me so proud.
Yeah, absolutely. Your products are gorgeous. I've been watching you on Instagram and seeing the creations that you've been coming up with, and they're very unique and they're very beautiful. So thank you for bringing something new to the candle making world.
Yeah, I love it.
What's been your biggest win in your business so far?
Meeting the people that I get to meet. I have some really, really nice customers and just genuine people. I usually don't really venture out too much, and I've these people have come into my space, and yeah, they're just really, really great people.
Are they from the candle community or mainly customers or?
No, just customers.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, but like I've recently started networking like with other businesses around Australia, and it's like really good to see people supporting other businesses. It locally, you don't really get that. It's more competition. Like even though there's enough room for everyone to win, yeah, you don't really get that locally. Whereas, I've got people in Perth and Brisbane are encouraging. Whereas, yeah, it's very hard to get that here.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's so many different candle makers, as you say, all over Australia, but definitely around the world as well. But not every customer will purchase their candles from one candle maker. So there's enough business out there for us to run our businesses successfully. There's enough customers for all of us. When we treat each other through the lens of community, it's just an incredible feeling because you feel like you're connected to something bigger than just your own business.
Yeah, definitely. And it's great to be able to just bounce ideas off other people as well, because I've been just winging it since like day one. I have no idea really what I'm doing. And just to get advice from people that are already established and, get a pat on the back saying, you're doing a great job. Like you just need to keep going. That means the world to someone like me.
Yes, absolutely. And I would agree. Like when other candle makers commend you on your work or support you and encourage you, it fills you with such positivity and know that you're on the right path.
Yeah, for sure.
So when it comes to candle making, why do you think someone should start a candle business?
You have to really like have a passion for it. It's not something that there's like a myth, people just think you just chuck a wick in and you pour some wax and, it's all good, it'll work out. There's actually so much involved in it. Yeah.
Knowing that the path is not as easy as you first think, having that passion will help pull you through on those days where you're feeling challenged and overwhelmed by the process.
That's right. Yeah. And you need to be able to enjoy doing it. And it's not like as soon as you think something's a chore, it's not really worth it anymore.
Did you start in 2020 or 2021?
2021.
Okay, perfect. So you've been doing it for about a year?
Yeah, nearly a year. So I started testing in November of 21, and I didn't launch my business till February this year. So yeah.
And just coming back to what you said before, have you ever felt like this is a chore, or is it just you're just so passionate that you're enjoying the stage?
There's been a couple of moments, I'll tell you that. There's a couple of issues that came up and like no fault of my own. And then I thought, what am I doing? Should I even continue doing this? But then I look at it like this is something that I really love and I can't let people crush my spirit. So I've just got to keep going. Like the days that I feel like, I don't want to do this, I just don't do it. Yeah. And then the next day I'm back on track and I've got double the work to do. But that's just how I have to roll.
And that's the thing, like you need to be able to pull yourself through those challenging moments. And they're basically testing you just to see, is this really the path you want to be on? Do you want to keep going? And by being able to work through those mindset challenges, and say to yourself, no, this is what I want to do. This is important to me. When you do have those challenges that come up from outside your business or from within your business, you can work through it a bit more easily. Yeah,
that's right. And the way I look at it, not that I failed my first business, but I was forced to close and I can't go through that again. Like I was devastated. So this has to work. Like I have put everything into it. So it's going to work.
Absolutely. And with enough dedication and hard work, it absolutely will. What do you wish you knew when you first started making candles?
Like it's going to be a journey. It will not happen overnight. I think I expected just to be so successful, in the first couple of months and I'm just going to pump socials and do everything and it's going to be great. But, it's a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are so many different parts of the business that requires attention, whether it's the social media side of things or marketing the business or attending markets or wholesaling, as well as actually making the candles and learning the craft of candle making. So I can definitely imagine that when we first start, we think it'll be easy, but really it's a journey. It's hopefully a lifelong journey that we can learn and grow from along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you have any challenges when you first started?
Yeah, so I joined a few candle groups on Facebook and tried to get like free information and help. And honestly, it's very cutthroat. Like in some of them groups, yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes people have that lack mindset, and if they share their success stories or the formula or where they buy their supplies, they feel like there's not enough for everybody.
Yes, that's right.
On one hand, I can understand and appreciate, especially coming off the back of COVID, where we couldn't even get toilet paper and tissues, let alone candle supplies, which isn't deemed an essential. So I can understand on one hand why people can be like that, but on the other hand, there are many people in those groups that are incredibly supportive and so willing to give their information and assistance. But you do need to be mindful that some people have an agenda, and the information that they're sharing with you might not necessarily be the most beneficial to you.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I found at the start. So it kind of took a bit to like do my own research and try and see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to candles, there's so many ways that you can express your creativity. Like you said, you do your novelty candles, which are incredible, but then there's also people that just want to do container or jar candles, but then you've got pillar candles and tea lights and mold candles, and there's so many different types, and then there's so many different types of wax and wicks and fragrance oils, so the combinations are endless. When you go into those groups and want to get some advice, sometimes you won't be able to get the advice because what you're making is so specific to you. But doing your own research and definitely your own testing is where you'll find most of the information.
Yeah.
Do you think that there are any common myths or misconceptions about making candles?
Yeah, I think that people think it's very easy. They just go off the recommendations on the website of wicks that they need to use, percentage of fragrance load, when it's really like when I started, I spent so much money. And because it takes 2 weeks for anything to get to me in Rockhampton, I would order like, say, 2 boxes of different wicks, and then I'd test them and I'd be like, okay, this doesn't work. I need to order more. 2 weeks later, I'm, waiting for my next boxes of wicks to come. So, the learning curve is like, I would just buy, if I could start again, I would buy one of each box of wicks and, different wax and just a small amount just to test, because I spent so much money, so much time. And if I could turn back the clock, I would have saved a lot of money.
Yes, and a lot of time as well, considering the delay in the deliveries. I think that's one of the mistakes that a lot of new candle makers make, is that they get excited by the process of adding everything to cart, shopping, and then wanting to start. But really, it's you need to sort of take a breath and wait maybe a couple of days before you actually purchase, so that excitement can fade just a little bit, so that you're not buying everything at once, because when it all arrives, then that becomes really overwhelming too, because you've got so many supplies and you think, oh, where do I start? And you can overwhelm yourself quite easily.
Well, I thought, I'll just get this size jar, I'll get a medium jar, I'll get a tin. Like, I had 5 different candles that I had to test. And if I could just go back, I would just pick one jar and, get that perfect and then move on to the next jar. But I got there in the end.
Yes, that's right. You climbed that mountain.
Yeah.
Mountain of wicks.
Yes.
When you start your candle business, there are so many things to consider and research along the way, especially when it comes to choosing the right suppliers. Long Story Short provides all your design and printing needs, from your logo and branding to designing and printing your product labels. The quality is exceptional, the customer service is amazing, and prices are very reasonable. They're the only label company I recommend, so check out their website or send them an email today to get started. hello@longstoryshortdesign.com.au. In your opinion, what do you think is the most important strength someone would need to have to be successful as a candle maker?
Being able to talk to customers, I think, like getting networking and stuff, because like I can be really great at my social media, but actually talking to people at markets and getting to know what people want, I think, yeah, is a
It's
great way
scary,
to do
isn't
it.
it? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's scary putting yourself out there. I mean, if people have ever done like different types of markets before, like, like a baby and kids market or
Mm.
just selling clothes, for example, there's not as much of a personal investment in
Yeah.
terms of, I didn't make these clothes, I'm just wanting to sell them. But when
Yeah.
you actually made the candles and the products and you're putting yourself literally on the table for people to judge whether or not, I mean, they're not going to say anything, they're not going to judge you to your face. But
Yeah.
if they don't purchase, you think, well, what's wrong with my candles? Why didn't they buy from me? But there's so many different factors as to why a person does or doesn't purchase a candle from you. But having these skills to be able to speak to your customers and potential customers, particularly when you go to markets because you're face to face, but
Yeah.
also if you converse via email or on your socials as well, being able to just establish a connection with them. And that's what will lead to sales, when they feel like they're actually buying from a person, not just, a corporation that they're buying, like a big business that they're buying from.
Yeah, that's right. And I always usually follow up. So they love that as well. I'm like, oh, how did you like things? Do you have any suggestions for me? Any feedback? And I think they love that.
Yeah, they do, because it reminds people that they've purchased from, an actual person, a family, a small business. So what does your weekly routine look like as a small business owner?
So usually, like, I'll wake up and get the kids organized for school and the husband for work and do all the mum things. And then I start my work. I usually will jump on social media real quick and post something from my website. Then I'll start making whatever I need to do for the day. Usually, yeah, I'll have a plan if I'm going to do a candle day, shower steamers, or bath bombs. So I know like what I need out. And then, yeah, I'll do school pickup and then all the mum things at night as well.
The days go by much too fast between school drop off and school pickup, especially
I
when
know.
you're enjoying it and you feel
Yeah.
immersed in what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that sort of answers my next question, in that how do you prioritize your to-do list each day?
Yeah. So usually like customers will always come first if on my business list. So family number one. And then I start business as soon as the kids are at school. Like I'm in business mode then until 2:45. So if any questions or anything comes through, like I pride myself on being there for my customers. So if I will reply pretty much immediately.
Amazing. And that's so important. It's a good lesson for people listening, is that customers are the biggest priority in your business. It's not just about making candles and posting on social media. If you've got an inquiry, treat that with the urgency that it requires.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your favorite thing about what you do?
That I get to see how happy people are when they see my products. Like even the markets that I just went to, people were shocked. They're like, this just looks like food. Can I eat this? Yeah, that just makes me so happy because that's what I want. So yeah, the feedback.
Yeah, I love that. Do you think there's any common myths about running a small business?
Yeah, that it's going to be easy and that you get time off.
That's true.
You're like, I'm going to be rich. I'll just hire someone to do my stuff. Yeah, nah.
Look, it may be like that in the future, but to begin with, it's you putting in a lot more time, effort, energy, money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
didn't realize how much I would have to learn, to be honest, because like even bookwork, I had no idea. I didn't know what SEO was for websites. So I was doing all this free learning in my spare time. And yeah, I didn't even know like hardly what anything means. And then I seen somebody write the other day, like, you have to focus on your SEO and your UX. And I was like, I don't even know what UX is. So here I am Googling. They're like, it's the user experience. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I don't know what that means either. I just do a lot of Googling and a lot of winging it, and I'm doing all right. If for
Yeah.
someone, that has no money to invest at the moment, there is a lot of free learning out there, just to get you going.
And I think
Yeah.
the only drawback with that is that you don't always know what you need to be learning about.
Yes.
When
That's
if
one
you,
thing.
if you have a list of, say, I need to learn ABC, then you
Yep.
can go and find it. But when you've never done it before, it can be quite, you might think you've covered all your bases, but then something will pop up like the SEO and UX, and you think, oh, okay, I'll learn about that now too. So
Yep.
yeah, thank
Yeah.
goodness for Google. Otherwise, I don't think
Oh, I know.
you're able to do as much as we can.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's one lesson your journey has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point in their life?
Probably patience.
Mm.
That it's not going to happen overnight. Like it's a everyday thing. You
Hmm.
just got to chip away, chip away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to just love the journey, I think, without getting frustrated
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Because
I love that.
you see other people, like even small business, they're pulling these big numbers every month. And my win the other day, I got 33 visitors to my site. I didn't make any sales, but I was like,
Amazing.
you know what? That's the most visitors I've ever had to my site. And I was so excited. But then, you
Absolutely.
jump on Facebook and you're like, oh, we're just done $10,000 this month. And I was like, okay, like get back in your box and keep working.
And that's the thing, like it's so easy to get caught up in the comparison
Yeah.
of other businesses, but everyone starts their journey at different times. Everyone has
Yep.
different skill levels when they come into starting their business, and everyone's journey and everyone's success will be different as well, depending on
Yeah.
so many different factors. So yeah, having
Yep.
patience and knowing that you will get there because you learn as you go. That's like
Yep.
business, you learn business as you go and you personally develop as well along the way.
Yep.
And as long as you're willing to put in the work, you will find success.
Yeah, that's right.
What gives you motivation to keep going when things get tough?
I think my girls, my two kids,
Mm.
I don't want to show them, that you can just give up on your dream because
Yeah.
they seen me go through after my studio closed, like how heartbroken I was about it, but I didn't let it get me down. Like I've restarted a new business now and they see how hard I work.
Hmm.
Like even on Sundays, like I'll be up at 6 a.m. If I've got stuff to make, I'm up making it. So
Yes.
I wanted to show the girls that never give up.
And I think, or don't think I know, that you're inspiring them by living your passion and not staying stuck or staying stagnant. You're
Yeah.
growing as a person, and that's teaching them so much.
Yeah, for sure.
It's beautiful. Do you have any productivity hacks that you can share?
Be in charge of your time. I
Mm.
think the biggest thing is, especially posting on social media first thing in the day, you get caught like on that scrolling and what's everyone else up to, and then an hour's gone that you could have been putting into your product. So yeah, I think just keeping on top of your productivity, having a proper time plan. For me, I keep lists and I just tick them off as I go. Yeah, I'm pretty organized. Like just being organized, I think, is a good thing.
Yeah, that's not something that everyone is as skilled at, but
Yeah.
definitely something that everyone can learn to be
Yeah.
better at. How do you define success?
Being happy, it means success to me.
Mm.
Because like I would love to, think of success as having a big mansion and, your car and everything, but I've got my little family and I'm happy. And I think that's what life's all about is just having people that love you. It's not about material things. And yeah, I've got great customers, so I think I'm pretty successful like already.
Oh, I love that. That's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about small business with the listeners?
I just think like it's worth it. If you really have a dream and a passion, life is so short. Like you really need to follow your dream. I was stuck in a hospitality job cooking. Like I did that from when I was 14 years old. I left school and I cooked full time. And when I look back now, I hated it. Like
Mm.
I just compared to what I've got now, yeah, you really need to just jump in and follow your dream.
Oh, that's such good advice.
But I wish, like I kind of do wish that I did have a 1 or 2 day casual job so I could just bankroll my business because, you wait for your customers to come in and it's really hard, but yeah, it'll get there.
Yeah, just keep persevering.
Yeah.
So now we've come to my favorite part of our chat where I ask you 3 questions that I ask all my guests. So number 1, what is your favorite candle fragrance?
Oh, see, this is really hard because every time I get an order, I always think, oh, okay, this is my new favorite now. But at the moment, I'm loving Melbourne Muse, which is like one of Glasshouse Candles fragrances. And yeah, I've got it in my whole house at the moment.
Beautiful. Nice.
Yeah.
Number 2, what do you love about candles?
Different candles can trigger different memories for people. And yeah, some people have a favorite scent, that they used to smell at their mum's house or that. I just think that that's beautiful that it triggers people's emotions.
And you can particularly notice that when you, like if you, well, as you know, go to markets and the customer or potential customer picks up a candle and smells it and then tells you, oh, this reminds me of my grandma's house, or this reminds me of whatever it is.
And isn't that the best? Like you just get that connection. Yeah.
Yeah. It's incredible because, I mean, there are literally hundreds and thousands of different scents, but the ones that we choose, people always connect with them and can have that memory associated with it, which is just so
for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then number 3, what is one piece of advice for new candle makers you would give at the start of their journey?
So I really will go back to that wick question because I think just choose one product to start with.
Yeah.
One product, perfect it, and then you can move on to another product. So yeah, you're going to save a lot of time, money, tears, because sometimes it just doesn't work. So yeah, one product, focus on that.
Yeah, one product, start small, perfect it like you said, and then expand.
Yeah, because I think people also think the more products you have, the more sales you're going to make. When, like, I did think that too at the start, and now I'm trying to scale back and just really perfect like where my heart is, where the novelty candles are. That's where my heart is. So why not do that and really push that, then do the stuff that I don't like doing? I mean, it's my business. So yeah.
And if you can be known in the industry for your particular candles, then people will know to come to you to purchase those type of candles.
Yeah, for sure.
So where can the listeners find more about you? If they want to see these amazing candles, where can they go? And I'll leave links in the show notes as well.
I think Instagram was the place to be for me because I can post my videos on there. Facebook hates me posting videos with sound. They always mute me. So Instagram is where it's at for me.
Lovely. And what's your handle on Instagram?
Just Carnation Candles, I think it is, _candles.
No worries. As I said, I'll leave the links in the show notes so people can find you. But thank you so much, Bec. I really enjoyed our conversation today and I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks everyone for listening today. I hope this episode added value to your candle making journey. Check out the show notes for all the links mentioned throughout today's episode. And if you would like to submit a question, send me a DM on Instagram at Candle Business Coach. And if you haven't already, download your free copy of my guide, 5 Simple Steps to Start Your Candle Journey. It contains tips and advice before you make your first candle, and details are in the show notes. Lastly, please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And thanks again for listening. Have a beautiful day.